Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another marvelous Monday. You are tuned in to the Aspiring Artist Showcase right here with them Royalty Boys on 108 Praise Radio. And it's none other than your boy Stoney Hill. And of course, I've got...
Hey, you got your boy Kai9 in the building. What's going on, people?
I'm feeling wonderful.
Hey, man, we got the homie Highlight Real in the building.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Hey,
I
what's
think it's
good?
going to be a pretty good Monday, man.
I think it's going to be a marvelous Monday.
Oh, it's
Magnificent Monday.
a blessed and motivated Monday.
Magnanimous Monday.
There it is. How many M&Ms can you throw in?
Oh, come on now. Come on now.
But as my friend Kai9 just stated over there, we do have old Highlight Real in the building today. Some few things I can say about this guy. Genuine guy, loves the Lord, and done flew all the way to Las Vegas with this guy.
Oh, man.
Got to know him on a personal level, you know what I'm saying? And I got to say, a really, really good guy. How you doing today, man?
Oh, man. Blessed and highly favored. How y'all feeling today, man?
I'm
Feeling pretty
wonderful.
good, bro. Feeling
Wonderful,
pretty good.
wonderful. All
So
right,
let's
all
start
right.
this thing off real quick, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Your
sir.
name is Highlight Real, okay?
Yeah, man. That's what they call me.
What is the motivation behind? Cause I'll never forget, but I heard Highlight Real for the first time, and I was like, "That's an interesting name."
Yeah, fam. You know, that's usually one of the main things people will ask a lot of times. It's like, yo, I like that name. How'd you come up with it? And so many different meanings behind it. Now, of course, though, you know, you got some basketball history. So genuinely, I'll never forget, it was around the time when I did secular rap. I was transitioning because I had a basic name back then, and I went by D-Real. You know, it was just something simple.
Right.
But when I looked on the internet, I was like, okay, it's way too many, you know, D-Reals out there. So I was trying to think of something that was just like, okay, what's a real unique standout name that nobody would think of? And this was right around the time, you know, I was just transitioning to do stuff for God at this point, and I still was just trying to get that name right.
Right.
And because, you know, they say your name's usually the most important thing as an artist. You know, either you're going to use your first and last name if it's one of them type of stage names that's like first and last, or you're going to, you know, make something that's like marketable, you know. So
True.
I was just, you know, watching some Sports Center one day because, you know, I love my Sports Center here and there, you know, like a morning routine kind of thing. And it just came on me, and I was like, wait a minute, Highlight Real, you know, because I thought about the fact that, now I tell people all the time, when you think about what you've been through, right? When you think about your struggles in life, and you think about what brought you to Christ initially, you highlight what you've been through. Like every single part of who you used to be is what you use to highlight to the rest of the world to show this is who I used to be,
Right.
and this is who I am now because of what God made me to be. So, you know, when you watch your favorite game, if you don't catch it, you're going to watch Sports Center because they're going to show the highlights. They're going to show the best moments of that game. And so it all kind of tied in together, and I was like, yo, that would be dope to incorporate. And literally from there, it was just kind of other meanings that came behind the name. It was just like, oh, well, you know, we the light of Christ, you know. So as we highlight and we use that highlight of Christ within us, you know, we keep it real at all times, you know, and we just let people know this is what we've been through, this is who we are, and this is what Christ is, you know. So literally, you just being 100% real with it.
Indubitably.
You know,
That's what's up, man. I like that. That was my
That-
first time hearing, you know, the real story behind
Right.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
so-
Some old ESPN just. I'm
Dun,
sitting
dun,
here,
dun.
got a little free
Dun, dun,
time
dun.
on hand.
telling you,
and
yeah, I'm telling you,
the
man.
inspiration just dropped. Watching some.
I'm telling you,
highlights.
man. Listen, man. Hey, never downplay anything that you got from sports or anything that just kind of gives you that inspiration a little bit to say,
right.
hey, you know what? God to give you inspiration from anything. I'm telling y'all now.
Amen.
That's what's up.
Literally.
Literally.
So if you think about the style, if y'all haven't heard it, man, y'all gonna get to hear some of his music today, man.
All right.
And we got some good stuff, but it's not just one style, man. Like Highlight Real, he can give you a little turn up, he can give you a little jazz, he can give you a little smooth, he can take
Okay.
you to the old school church if you want to, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But I just want to know, you grew up, born in Tennessee, I believe,
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Memphis, Tennessee.
moved to Virginia,
Yes, very
Mhm.
correct.
and then over in the ATL.
Over in the ATL, Hotlanta, baby.
And then I feel like you got a little Miami Ricky in you.
Miami.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah. We ain't going to bring Miami Ricky.
That's the highlight right there. That Miami. Everybody, yo.
Listen, man.
But I just want to know, how did any of that, impact your music, just growing up in those different areas?
Yeah, man. Well, okay. First and foremost, I do have a father who is like super into the old school style of like funk, So on my dad's side, it was more like funk and, from Temptations, Bar-Kays, and you name it, Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson, all that, And then on my mother's side was the old school gospel, Clark Sisters, and I mean, you name it, just the old school names of legendary status to this day in gospel music. So those two things impact me. And then so in Memphis, for example, back home in Memphis, I noticed, because it really wasn't until I got to Memphis when I understood what a church was. Like when I first lived in Atlanta, thinking this is where I was initially from, I had no idea what a church really was until I got back home to Memphis. And at that point, my eyes were open as a youngin' to, oh, okay, this is church, And I was young, just like, oh, there's kids here, so I could have fun. But then, low key, thanks to my grandmother and those around me, those older saints, I started learning behind the spiritual meaning of church and just all kind of things like that. Virginia, from what I remember, I'm going to be honest, I was so young because of my father being in the Navy that what I mainly remember about that would be the ocean, the beaches, because of the fact that it was Virginia Beach, Navy base. We had a beach house kind of thing. And so I just remember images of the beach, and I guess you could say that's where my cool vibes come from or something, just the images of like ocean, the cool, calm ocean breeze. Yeah. There you go, So yeah, if you took all three cities like that, Atlanta, of course, I mean, it's the mecca of entertainment, man. It always has been. I mean, just the swagger of Atlanta. Fila, Forever I Love Atlanta. I mean, you name it. FUBU. Was that really started in Atlanta? I mean, I remember it in Atlanta. Yeah, okay.
We started in Atlanta, but we picked it up.
Yeah, we about picked it. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering. I always wondered. Like, I mean, I always thought FUBU was. It just seemed like a flea markets, all that. You know what I mean? So Atlanta just gave me the swag to just be free, be you, and just run with it.
Cool. That's what's up. All right, kind of.
Okay. You talk about, highlight reel and just the highlights of our life and just a lot that we come through and a lot of things that, really God has highlighted in our life, that we can highlight him as well. So, it's just like, that's the word of the day, highlight.
Highlight. Come on now.
So, man, let's tap into a little bit of that, man, because I can recall. I'm trying to remember the first time, because I know Vegas was definitely like one of those moments that that we can remember.
Yes,
but even before that, I think it was at out in Gwinnett, at a show. I think you were hosting, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. Yeah, it could have been
you and another young lady. You guys were hosting.
We were hosting. Yeah, I want to say. Oh man, was it a it might have been a fashion show, was it?
That's exactly what it was.
Yes,
it was
okay. Fashion show with me and Miss Lyric. I do. Shout out to Miss Lyric. Shout out to you, sis. I know we were just talking on the phone the other night, so shout out to you, sis, if you're seeing this in the live feed right now. We did a throwback experience. That's what that was.
Exactly
it was a throwback 80s and 90s event, and that was a blast. A lot of people were they loved the idea of what that was, like to take you into a retro feel of life, but then incorporate the gospel into it. It was all like real unique,
right?
And something we're gonna try to bring back when the time is right. Venues these days are just a trip sometimes. It's finding like the right good venue just to host something nice for people. But that was definitely a good time. Seeing their energy, y'all, I'm telling you, it was like, okay, all right, I feel that.
I didn't know what to expect from you, to be honest with you, 'cause he hosting and he up there being like super silly. I'm like, man. So he gets on the mic and start rapping. It was just a whole different image, it was just, I think we kind of judge at times, and we put people in categories. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't think you had no flow. I didn't think he had no flow,
man.
But when I heard him spitting, I was like, okay. He coming with it, oh boy. And then we got to know each other a little bit more, and then there again, the trip to Vegas, man, and I think you had a setup there where you was one of the headliners for one of the.
What was that? I think it was.
It was one of those other off shows that they had that was going on based around the Stella Award.
I do remember that.
And I think that was the first time I heard you do Church Pew.
Yeah, that was a special song to break out for that moment. It was something new. It was fresh, and it was a song that kind of goes into my testimony of just being raised in church. So, Stellar Season is interesting because of the fact that, as you guys know from when we were out there, gospel. Christian hip hop isn't really accepted amongst the gospel community as much sometimes.
Right.
So
we the outcast.
Yeah. We like the stepchild, the outcast, however you want to put it. So I just thank God for having that gift to be able to, and I guess this is where I owe that growing up in church phase, to be able to say, okay, God gave me a gift to be able to walk into those traditional settings and even if it's rapping, it's still a song where they feel the message more so than the actual rapping, and they just see yo, this brother got an anointing. What is it about this song that just made me think about myself or want me to come closer to Christ? So I just thank God for when He gives me a song like Church Pews. That was pretty fun to break out for them.
But yeah, man, just like I said, just to hear the lyrics. When you hear the content, we're gonna get around to it, but hearing the content of just the way you write, and I can even recall some Instagram freestyles that you put up. I'm like, the boy got some heat, y'all. I mean, he really coming with it, from the north side, that way.
North side, yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When it come to Atlanta, I'm definitely a north side kind of guy. I mean, good old G County, man. But hey, it's all Atlanta to me, man. It don't matter what side you on. We one united city, right? So it's like, hey, north side, south side, east side, west side. We all together.
Cool. Well, I see we were talking about some of this music. I see we got Church Pews. We got Dream Maker. We got anime as far as videos are concerned.
Okay.
I just want to take a little time to talk about this anime, man.
Okay, let's do it.
I grew up. Okay. Some of our older listeners might not know this.
Okay.
But y'all gonna get it today. Okay.
Oh, no.
I grew up on some great TV shows. One of my favorites being Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Obviously.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Hey, that counts too.
But
way back.
That man went way back. Yeah, okay. Super way back. All right. Oh, not the Mighty Mouse.
Here I come to save the day.
Right, come on.
Popeye? Wait a minute.
That man said Popeye, bro.
But this video anime, man, it had to be a very fun video for you to shoot. I mean, if you haven't seen it, man, y'all go to YouTube, check it out on Highlight Reel, man, or actually go to his page and check it out. But it's just a real fun, interesting video.
Yeah.
Tell me about the concept of that and how you came up with it, man.
Okay. So, first off, let me shout out my homie that made the beat, my boy out in Louisiana. My boy Spec Too Dope. He made that joint.
Oh, Spec Too Dope.
Yeah, good old Spec Too Dope, man. My boy Young Spec. He's a man of many names, Some know him as Young Spec, Spec Too Dope, Spec. But man, it was funny because the beat was originally a song that was supposed to be for a collab song amongst me, him, and Young Noah, I believe. He was gonna put Young Noah on this joint. Okay. And I'm not sure what went down, but after a while I just remember I came across the beat in my email and I was like, yo, expect you still using this joint? Like, what's good? And he's like, nah, bro, he's like, hey man, go ahead, do you with it, bro. Do you. I was like, cool. So I just came up with this concept because I was like, I heard the feel of the beat and I said, okay, I want to do something that's real outside the box. And I just thought about anime for a second. I was just like, hey, that would be a smart little market to kind of come at a little bit in a good way, you know, but in a way of like bringing the light of Christ with it to where they relate to it and then don't even know that I'm putting God in it at the same time. Like, it's pretty dope. So, man, I just had fun with it. Like, it was one of those songs I wrote. Like, sometimes when I write a song, I'll write it in like less than 2 hours. Like, it just flows through me. And so I remember just being at work all day. It was slow, and I just had that beat in my headphones, and like I flowed through that song so quickly because the references were coming to me like crazy on these anime shows I used to watch. And I was just like, yo, you know, I could take these, incorporate God into it, and like make it fun, make it catchy, and then at the same time, you know, and just spread that gospel with it low key where they don't even realize it, you know, but also while having fun. And it was crazy because when I tested the song out and let people around me hear it, I noticed how the youth just gravitated to it, and they were like, yo, this song gonna be dope, bro. You need to put this out. I was like, okay, you know. I was like, cool. So Anime, man, is definitely a fun one. And yeah, man, the video was dope to shoot. It was a convention, MomoCon came downtown at the Georgia World Congress Center. Right. Mm-hmm. And so me and the video guy that shot it, man, we went downtown and we saw an open field. We got in front of the field, and there was just people everywhere, just different cosplay, and it was just like, yo, this is amazing. It was my first actual con experience too. So first time I got to see, you know, because I always kind of wanted to go to one of those and experience it. So it was dope to see everybody dressed up as different characters that you knew. True. And we just gathered them in the field, and we said, hey, y'all, we're shooting a video. Y'all want to be in the music video? They're like, yeah, of course. Like, absolutely. Hey, can my friend join? We're like, yeah, bring them all, man. And next thing you know, yeah, they got a kick out of it. And then the video guy, man, he just took it to another level because he was super creative and was like, I'm going to put all kind of just like actual animations in it. And that stuck out the most to people. Between that and then the people dressed up, it was just like, okay, what a different video.
Lights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, you know it. Highlight. We got to do it in a highlight style, right? You know.
Well, I want to get into some of this music, man. It's about that time to listen to some of these folks here.
Okay, let's do it.
Some of this good thing. So, like I said, it looks like we got anime.
Anime, all right.
And then, not anime, but anime.
Okay.
We got Church Pews and Dream Maker. Anyone in particular you wanna highlight?
Man,
right now.
Well, I tell you what, man. To the good people out there watching and listening, since we just got on the subject of anime, let's go ahead and hit that anime forum one time and let them see that creativity behind the music. You know,
truly. Well, I'm gonna let you go ahead and introduce that thing, and we're gonna get right into it.
Well, all right, good people, ladies and gents. This is Anime, and it was shot by Black Cloud Productions. So y'all enjoy that.
Yes, sir. Should be a lot of fun.
Oh, you good?
No, I'm just joking, man.
Let's get it.
Me and my wannabe Mortal Kombat.
You already know. Yeah. All right. Look at that. Bro, that's so sick, man. Investment here, investment there, a little something. Shout out to the people that's on the live feed right now. My boy Spec going crazy right now because it's anime about to play. What up, Spec? I see you online, bro.
That's what's up.
Shout out to my boy.
That's the new hashtag, all angles.
Yeah, all angles, baby, all angles. My boy Josh, everybody online, man. Shout out to all of y'all, man.
Last night was wild. It's crazy, bro, man. That section popping, man.
Yo, we still lit, man.
What's going on, bro? How y'all doing, man? Hey, God bless, man. God bless. Hey, man, what's up, y'all, man? We've been seeing you guys around, man, and, we just wanted to come invite you guys out to our service on Sunday, man. It's man. I got time for that service. Hey, man, come join us, man. Yeah, come join us, man. But it ain't a little bit of worship, man. Praise church.
It ain't all that fake stuff, man. We ain't on none of that fake stuff, man.
We all the same, man. All y'all the same.
Man. I feel you, man. But I feel you, man. You should come through, though.
Yeah, come on through, man. I mean, it's gonna be an awesome service, man. And the rest is gonna be good, man. We see you brothers out here a lot, man, so we just thought it'd be cool to just kind of invite you, man.
That's what we say, man. We here for the streets, man. We here to serve, man.
I think about it.
Holla at us, man.
Right across the street.
All right?
I think about it, bro.
All right, bro.
Talk for that church.
All right, man. Be easy, man. All right?
Take care, man. All right? Church, bro.
Hey, man, yo, last night.
They don't see life from this church pew. Spend my whole life in this church. These houses sing. See a lot of souls from this church pew. Sometimes I even slept on these church pews. They don't see life from this church pew. Spend my whole life in these church pews. See a lot of souls from these church pews. Sometimes I even slept on these church pews. These eyes have seen and bear witness of a king at a young age and a young phase, and I learned his ways to stay lean. These church walls, they raise me. Tell me not to stay lazy. This book of knowledge is all you need, and you will see it, I promise, baby.
To the art gallery, see the spectacular visions that lay in front of me. A masterpiece out on display. Spirit-filled inspiration ready for replay. Classic in its own art form. As it grows, it shows another life form. A voice of its own, an image of life. The sound of a melody, unbuyable price. Undeniable that every look painted with words out of every single book. Deeper than any Picasso, deserving of a standing ovation. Bravo. The image you see in front of me is recreated, innovated from a higher being. Displayed on this canvas, use me, the art behind the artist. I was viewed free. I've had dreams and I've expressed them. The way that I feel is my progression, and I don't expect them to understand it. Because of the seeds planted, my field of dreams expand. Unconditional love, that's right. The key ingredient, artistic heights above him. Now let it flow, Lord. Me and you draw on one accord. Art appreciation, because they know I'm your creation. Planned out in your sketchbook. They don't know it till they take a look. The dreams come true because you made it. The things that I do, you created. And as the years move forth, I'll be one of the worst they remember. The full course. This vision is never ending as I paint pictures that illustrated no television. Frustrated, I knew I had some better works. My throwaways see brighter days right on my shirt. Steady at it. Yeah.
Yo, man. King Kai, this for you.
Yo. Highlight.
Shout out to Use K. I got them Pokemon cards on deck.
Young Spec on the beat.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey, I'm really feeling my key right now.
Hey, like real talk, I'm about to go in.
It's about time to get animated in here. Where my nerds at?
We in there. I love this for real though. Leg out. Hey, shout out to the Master Piccolos. Time to level up.
This that young Shinobi Master Roshi flow. You Yajirobe, tuck your tail and go. You think you're cocky, something like Vegeta. I'm Broly laughing like come at me, bro. Stood it up, I got the gun to wings. I praise with instruments, wear the strings. And when you type to do the workout I do, you don't need Netflix for Stranger Things. King James, I got the greatest sword and I don't need awards with this one piece. And with these healing powers, some call me Dende. I guard the earth cause I come in peace. Watch the company you keep around you, don't trust them like they Royoku. The ally to all that is good, a nightmare to evil like Goku. Immortality freezes mad at me and I don't need a wish for it. Training hyperbolic time chambers, game changer when I flourish. I'm so rich, my city capture corp. I'm eating good and giving all the meals. Roger Smith, I got a big goal and I call upon you when it's getting real. My nickname should be Cowboy when I'm bebopping these demons. Steady conserving energy when I save some for my deacons. Charging up and see the glow I bring. A conscious rapper, ain't no need to sing. Attack on Titan, David got the sling. And now I'm God anointed like a king. I feel the Holy Ghost fire working in me. I got the power, I'm about to unleash the key. Spiritual with my soldiers as we all pray. Creating stories like anime, and we animate, 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 and we animate. Sure enough, I serve a greater master, but I leave my pack like I'm a pastor. Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel the inner pharaoh, that's double-minded, I'm faster. Inuyasha, man, I got the juice. Undefeated Satan, such a fool. Consistent with the testimony, quest to learn the lesson, now I got the tools. Girls be chasing me for my affection. Words to Tenchi, I can pop the question. What you got today for everyone? I'm staying pure to God, give all his blessings. Use K, I got a loaded spirit gun, ain't no fear when I use this. I got an attitude with these demons, third eye, I'm focused. Destructive this to any fake friends, I don't show remorse when I cut them off. And Mr. Satan got you mistaken when he stretched the tooth, all they do is talk. Solar flare, blind to the madness, look, rabbit tricks are still just for kids. You would think I was a psychic Pokemon by the way that I might have been. Don't kill my calm, I meditate, 2 steps ahead like Piccolo. Crouching tiger, no hitting dragon, 9 tails like Naruto. Super Saiyan, that's a level up, I'm ready for these devils screaming, what? Raging Gohan taking bumps on top, I thought I told yourself that that's enough. I feel the Holy Ghost fire working in me. I got the power, I'm about to unleash the key. Spiritual with my soldiers as we all pray. Creating stories like anime, and we animate, 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 and we animate.
Independent Connection with Timbaland Atkins. Timbaland Atkins, that PR diva.
Mostly happy, not sad. Not really tripping, ain't mad. Cause when you look at what you had, all of the good outweigh the bad.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Independent Connection. It's me, Timbaland Atkins, that PR diva, and I am here as always to let you know exactly what those awesome independent artists are out here doing as they rep the kingdom with excellence. Okay guys, I am super excited to let you know who my featured artist of the week is. It is none other than the gospel recording group Esther. Their hot new single, Giving the Praise, is out here blessing the masses. It's climbing the charts and it can be heard all across the airwaves.
Worship the Lord in this beauty and holiness, and give him all praise. Come on, everybody, come on. Worship in the spirit and truth, yeah.
I recently caught up with the ladies of Esther and asked them the question, what was the inspiration behind Give Him the Praise?
The inspiration for Give Him the Praise was basically a praise song that you could sing anywhere in the church, and it was just basically like a song for a group as well as for a congregation just to sing and everybody join in and be able to sing along with it, and everybody like a little praise party.
Well, ladies, over here in the Independent Connection, we love Give Him the Praise. Continue to do all that you do as you rep the kingdom with excellence. Well, guys, my time is almost up, but as always, I love to highlight as many independent artists as I can. So Gerald Scott and Company, Chip Bailey, Ty Scott King, Pastor Waverly Bumbry, and Refuge Temple Choir. We see you out here repping the kingdom with excellence. Continue to do all that you do. We have your back. Thanks so much for hanging out here with me, guys, in the Independent Connection. It's been me, Timlin Atkins, that PR diva. You can connect with me on all social media platforms, on Facebook at Independent Connection, on Instagram, Independent Connection, and on Twitter at IndependentCon6. Until next time, blessings!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're back right here on 108 Praise Radio with them Royalty Boys for the Aspiring Artist Showcase, where we have none other than Highlight Reel in the building with us.
What's good?
You just heard Church Pews, you just heard Rich, and you just heard Anime. And I heard some references in there. Some folks say you got a little Talib Kweli flow. And, you know, some others giving some other examples of different flows you got. But I told y'all from the beginning, you can't just put his flow in the box, man. It's a whole bunch of different styles.
Yeah.
Memphis, VA.
Come on, yeah.
ATL.
A little bit of everything, man.
MIA.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
You know, that's just from, you know, a compilation of just northern style rap and then southern style rap and then even a little bit of the West Coast and Midwest rap. You know, just, you know, a little bit of everything, man. I try to just have a little something for everybody from every side of the coast, man, you know?
That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
So as always, I'd like to take this time to thank the wonderful listeners who are out there listening. We appreciate you and we love you so much.
Indeed.
Can't name you all, but I'm going to name as many as I can. So shout out to old Audrey Henderson, Junior Bruce, Angelia Speaks Truth, Mr. Karan Jackson, Melissa Purnell, Kim Soul Sister Evans, Laura Bucci,
what up?
Courtney Contray Parson,
Lego,
Miss Toya Love.
Ooh, Toya, what up, Toya?
Shout out to you.
Shout out to the sis. What up?
Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We love you. Y'all keep tuning in, man. Tell everyone you know about it. Monday, 7 p.m. right here on 108 Praise Radio, the Aspiring Artist Showcase. But let's get back into this thing, kinda.
All right.
Man, Highlight Reel, man. Let's tap a little bit deeper, man, and just talk about the journey.
Okay.
For yourself, and at that moment when you knew the call of God was on your life. Like how did that transition take place for you when you say that you were secularly rapping at one time and then it was just like, okay, I had to put that away and now I'm on this path.
On this path. Well, it's you know, it's interesting, man, because a lot of times with me, man, like I didn't really have like a, you know, when you talk about testimonies, it's so crazy because for me, I'm one of those ones that, you know, I used to be shy about trying to tell a testimony because I'd be like, well, it's nothing really like special about mine. You know, I didn't really go through anything majorly significant. It was just kind of like, you know, again, growing up in church, you know, I mean, for me, I didn't really know much about church life until I moved to Memphis at a young age and met my grandmother and you know, kind of lived up under her and her prayer life. But, you know, with the secular life, when I was doing secular rap, it started like really just kind of like on a hobby tip. You know, it was just something I had friends from high school that were doing, and they were, you know, I was writing poetry a little bit. That's kind of how it came about. And they taught me like how to write 16s and, you know, how to flow. And really, you know, I just had to learn the flow myself over the years. Like I got better with it as I stuck with it. But, you know, when I did secular, it was like, okay, you know, I really made it a point that I wasn't going to rap about things that I knew absolutely nothing about. So you wasn't going to catch me rapping about dope because I didn't know nothing about selling it, and I wasn't going to try to front like I did because people can expose you quickly, man. They know when you're not about that life for real.
So wasn't going to be real on that one.
Yeah, you know, there was a reason I always kept real in my name. I was like, I'm going to keep it real with everybody. Like, this is who I am. You know, shout out to like the J. Coles and the Kendricks and all of them, because at that time they weren't on the level of where they at now, but they were on that come up status. And it was like, I respected those real conscious rappers that were like, you know, telling you what it's really like. That's what I wanted to do. But I wanted to be that much more standout and do it in a non-cursing kind of way. So I would even just rap music where, you know, I wasn't even cursing. So it was like, that would be the main standout thing to people. Like, man, I love how you can, you know, do this dope song and you ain't even said a curse word yet. And I'm like, well, you know, that's kind of what I'm trying to do to be different, you know. But I still, of course, you know, with maybe make a little sexual reference at a girl or something, you know, in a playful kind of way or something, you know, because, you know, that side likes that, of course. So, you know, something to still kind of somewhat cater to that. But, you know, as far as that turnaround, man, really what it was is, shout out to my big bro, K Reese. Initially, that group that we were in, he was the one that kind of got me into trying this rap thing out. And then when we did it on a secular tip, I was at that time in college. So I was, you know, back and forth between here and Tennessee. And when I would visit, I remember he just had a moment where he gave his life over to God, you know? So he told me about it. He was on fire. He was like, yo, man, I gave my life to Christ. And I'm like, that's what's up. You know, I respect that, man. I'm proud of you. So he started doing his music for God. So, you know, when I would come visit, I would, you know, do some stuff on the 16 for him out of respect. It was easy for me because I didn't curse on secular music anyway. And, you know, I respected God growing up in church. Right. And so, you know, to make a long story short, him and a couple other guys that were forming this group called Clear Vision were just like, hey, man, they heard me on some of the songs. It was like, bro, we think he need to get in on this. Let's get him in on it. And I was like, you know, done the group thing before, not really a big fan of it because, you know, things happen and people always kind of go their separate ways. So I was just like, I still want to find my way as an artist, you know, on a solo tip. And, you know, God just came through and just, you know, spoke to me in ways that, you know, when he want to reach you, he gonna reach you, you know. And it was just one of the moments where, you know, some stuff happened and I was like, okay, God, I see what, you know, you calling for my attention basically, and this is something you must want me to go down. So, you know, I was in church one Sunday and I just said, you know what, let me rededicate myself and, you know, and fresh up out of doing it, I got in the studio with those guys and I was like, yo, I'm ready to do this thing hardcore for God. Let's go ahead and go full-fledged with it. And I think really overall, when God was speaking to me, it was more so to show me that with what my heart wanted to do in the secular world, like, if you do this in my name and you, like, proclaim it wholeheartedly and fully, that everything you're trying to do in that secular world, you can do in my name and then some without really having to try to reach out to them because they'll come to you. Because you're doing this for me, you know? So it was like, you know, I started understanding that the more we were really just moving so rapidly as a group. And it was like, wow, it was mind-blowing, you know, just to see how God was really just opening doors up so quickly and doing things that was like, yeah, this is nothing but God, because there's no way I could have did this secular on my own at all. Like, you know, and even then it was still so much to learn about this industry and stuff, but just the fact that it was all nothing but God to open up doors, it was like, you know, that's what's up. So initially that's kind of what just to this day has kept me going so hard, is that I just know when God has promise for you, you keep going, man. You don't really listen to naysayers. You know, you try your best to just tune out as much of that as you can and just listen to God's voice. Right. And as you stay steadfast with God, man, I promise you, no matter how hard it gets, no matter what season you're in, God gonna take you where he want to take you, and you just gotta hold on to it.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah, man.
So we like to be transparent.
Okay.
You know,
that's good.
And as comfortable as the artist would like to be transparent as well, because I hear you say like some things happen.
Yeah.
And not that you have to address all of those things, but just touch on at least one of the things that actually happened that was just like, okay, maybe it started rocking the boat, or, you know, maybe it just, you know, started shifting your mindset and you started having questions, you know what I mean? Like, because, you know, I think it's a buildup.
Yeah.
Of just occurrence of events that are happening in our life. And then, you know, it's just that one that just says, okay, you know, the old game I think about, we used to play Mercy, like squeezing. Okay, I give. All right, what you want me to do? You know what I mean? So, like I say, you could just touch on one if you, as comfortable as you feel about some of those things, one of the things that happened.
Yeah, man, you know, just stuff like, let me see, you know, like, I was the kind of guy that even though I really didn't have a heart to, like, get in a lot of trouble, I would just say, you know, I did have a knack for hanging around. I guess, some of the wrong people, if you will.
Okay.
So it was just stuff like, you know, being around people who, you know, just did things that, you know, like, you know, it might have been, you know, under the influence, if you will, kind of type of stuff. And, you know, it was like experiences where, like, wrong place, wrong time. You know, like you with some people that is doing some stuff they know they probably shouldn't be doing. And even though, again, you may not do none of that at all, you know, it's like, hey, you know, any moment, say cops pull over and, you know, you in the car with them, so you gonna end up serving a little time. You know, just little eye-opener stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was anything super significant. Like I said, I really didn't do too much. Like, I'm a, you know, like, one thing God revealed to me about myself is that I'm a pretty, like, my spirit is not dumb, you know, like, and so a lot of times it doesn't take too much, which is why a lot of times when people ask about, like, a testimony of me, it's just kind of like, well, you know, I didn't really do super duper significant wrong things that, like, was just, like, super, like, you know, like, say, you know, like a sexual scare or something, or, you know, almost, or, you know, messing around so much where I got a kid out of it, and it was like, you know, or, you know, just different, you know, I know everybody got different stories, and that's why I used to always kind of be super shy about saying, like, well, what have you been through? You know, I've been pretty covered enough where, like, you know, if anything, I'm just guilty of the fact that a lot of times I don't come out enough with being who I really am spiritually sometimes, you know, because it's like when, you know, when the old saints would just be like, you know, you got a lot of power in you, a lot of this and that. I was the kind of guy that would, it's for me, honestly, it was like that preacher's kid effect. You know, like when you're a son or a daughter of a pastor and, you know, like you feel that pressure because people are going to look at you as like, oh, okay, so you automatically goody two shoes, you know, or, you know, they, you know, you get a little rebellious kind of, you know, and you try to, like,
I'm going to show y'all.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm going to show y'all, like, you know, and they like, that ain't you ain't about that life because you grew up under a pastor, you know, you come up from that kind of upbringing. So, you know, it was kind of like that with me, you know, like, my spirit always just kind of, no matter how far I might have tried to stray, like, I just could never make myself make that leap of doing something out of my element, like getting a crazy addiction or something, because it would just be like my spirit, my conscience would be that, like, alert enough to say, like, that ain't something you should do, or it's really not you to try it. And, like, I would just, you know, so, you know, I would never go through anything major to be that crazy. But I mean, you know, I was still young to where, you know, again, you just hang out with some of the wrong kind of people, and, you know,
right, which happens.
You know, it happens. Yeah, you know, we're all guilty of that. So, you know, you just, you know, seasons in my life where it was just people I knew I shouldn't have probably been hanging around, and just little knick-knack stuff like that would tell you, like, okay, if you keep going down these type of paths, you know, even though God gonna get you out of it, you gonna mess around and, you know, get yourself in some type of deep hole that, you know, is like, okay, only God gonna get you out of that, you know, because,
truly,
you know, yeah.
But truth be told, man, you know, hearing what you're saying there, I mean, you can look at that from a perspective of, you know, you were able to see, if I keep going down this road, it's not going to be no good look for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, I can kind of relate with you a little bit on that because, like I said, I'm not going to say that I did anything just like overly crazy.
Right.
I did some stuff, you know what I'm saying, you know.
Agreed.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Hang out with the wrong crowd sometimes, even though your dad always says choose your friends carefully. Y'all choose your friends carefully.
Please.
That's always stuck with me through my
Please do.
lifetime.
Please do.
But
yes, please
because like
do.
he said, I mean, you could be associated with something you ain't did nothing, but boom,
boom,
you caught up in it.
Exactly.
You must be with him because you with him.
You with him. Exactly.
But I mean, the testimony out of that to me is, you know, you could have went the wrong path, but the Lord kept you from that. And so, you know, you can tell others, if you go down this path, if you try and go this way, you know, good things can happen out of it.
Amen.
But So much I want to talk about, but just time won't allow me. I mean, I want to talk about this shirt, how he done saved souls with just this shirt alone. I mean, I want to talk about, you know, him playing the saxophone. I want to talk about, you know, moral victories, and I ain't got time. But I am going to end with this right here, and you better pick the right team. Okay. Who is going to the Super Bowl?
Whew. Oh man, you know what?
Here we go.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna make a confession that I was wrong because I picked the Cowboys to go. So I'm kind of
that ain't too bad.
I kind of was thinking the boys was gonna go.
I used to tackle real good. So it's gonna be on and popping.
I thought it was gonna go. All right. So as far as who's gonna go, honestly, I really feel like we're gonna get a rematch of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams.
Wrong. All right, so we're gonna end this here, man. You're gonna give them the your social media where they can get with you at. And by the way, that is the Patriots, and I don't care who goes on the NFC. But you gonna give them your social media. We're gonna get on up out of here, man.
Okay, say no more, man. Well, listen, y'all. Hey, y'all can follow your boy at Highlight Life. That is HILITE Life on Instagram and Twitter. And all things Highlight Real on YouTube and Facebook, Spotify Music. You know, definitely if y'all want to check out Moral Victories, as he mentioned, it's on Spotify Music, it's on Apple Music, all across the way, YouTube. However you guys like to listen to your music these days, it's, you know, I try to make sure it's on everything. I believe even Tidal, I probably have some stuff on there now as well. So just look me up, Highlight Real, HILITE Real. That's it, man.
There it is, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow Highlight Real. And if you want to know more about him, like I said, follow him. He'll give you some more information, man. Make sure you follow them Royalty Boys at them Royalty Boys. And like I always say, keep Jesus first in your life, man.
Hey, you already know what it is. Yes, sir.
Good people.
Yeah, man. Sick right there.
Tears, pain, many emotions. Walking showcase signed by my devotion. That's right. With each stroke, I choke in all of what I feel. Critiques may joke, but this art is real. Deal. I'm so in love with this body of art, and this is more than a hobby. It's a gift from the start. Cities and landscapes, Crayola fillers. Heroes with long capes for dream builders. Arts and crafts, it's in perfect perfection. Created to worship, there is no better lesson. Cause I align with the stars in this universe, and real art never dies from the final verse.
Nations still run freely. If this is a dream, don't wake me. These words here on my paper, they come from a dream maker. Everybody's always testing me, but I won't let them be the death of me. I know it gets hard sometimes, but I will rise and fight for you, because this is my destiny. This is the only thing that's real, and it's the only thing I feel. So I won't stop until I live like you want, because this dream that I have was your dream from the start.